Good morning. Good morning, coffee with Washboard Jim. Good morning, retail traders. I want to talk about my indices and if we think we're in a buy-sell situation into next week. Now, I know we did consolidate off of the bottom last week and above the bottom, so I really like that, and I'm going to pull that up in the SPY. Feeling good about the market into next week. I felt good about it last week. We bounced off. I mean, the chart tells a great story here. We had a trend down for a couple of weeks. She formed a Darvis box. We had a 3-day run up, and then she had a 3-day sell off. So I'm thinking we're ready to consolidate into a Darvis box, maybe have a breakout above the 457. That's on the SPY. But this is the main one that I'm watching right now. Gives me an indication of the market. Plus, along with them, I'm watching the IWM, the QQQ, and the SPX. So I keep a good eye on these every day, put them at the 20-day, 1 hour, see where I kind of am. Then I put them on the daily 1 minute, and I look for support and pivot point areas on these charts. Like a double bottom, I look at the previous high, the previous low, see what kind of patterns we had, places of consolidation on the previous 20-day chart, 1 hour, previous consolidation on the 1 minute. It gives me an idea of maybe a turnaround because they're all kind of trend together. So let's go ahead and go over these. Now that we got the SPY here, we created a support. We had a pretty hard sell-off, if you could remember. We went sideways, created a support level, and then once we developed that, we had a triple top break. She broke out. Now she's pulled back to that support level. She did bounce off the 20 into the 1 hour time frame. This is the SPY. So I'm expecting, if anything, it comes back and touches the 200 here on the 1 hour time frame, and then starts to bounce back up, and then comes back up to the top up here. Maybe do that a couple of times. Maybe just go ahead and start having a little bull run until we start hearing more bad news in the market. Now, we did hear the labor numbers were up huge. I question that. I question anything, the numbers that we get out of Washington these days. I even questioned the bad numbers we got in November and December. I know the market's not that good, and it's hard to find good help. So that's the funny thing about it. Just got to go with the charts and what the market brings, the price and the action. To me, the fundamentals don't mean much anymore. So we've got the IWM, the QQQ, the SPY, and the SPX. I talked about the SPY. Let's go ahead and talk about the IWM. So we've been kind of going sideways here with the IWM. We had a little breakout of the Darvis box last week, a little breakout of the resistance level that needed to break, and that was right up here, right around every bit of right around the 202.73. And she held a support right here on the head and shoulders. This is the neckline. And she came back back to that neckline, or that shoulder line, you could almost say, when you got your head right here. So she's going to do the same thing. We've had a 3-day sell-off. Come in Monday, it could pull back and drop down to the support level right here that we had on Friday. That critically needs to hold, but it doesn't have to. The next support level is going to be right down there, 193.76, with a no lower than 192. Resistance to break in the 1 hour time frame for the IWM is going to be the 50-day SMA. Right now we're set up in sneaky snake breakout. So she should go ahead and start to break up and break out and try to come back up here and have a double top resistance break of 202.73, and then the double top would be right at 204.34. Let me have a little more coffee. So you got your 3 support levels here. Strong buy. I think it just pulls back to a double bottom, tries to hold this channel, and then breaks resistance of the 50, and then runs up to the top up here at 202.73. That's the IWM. Then we've got the QQQ. Everything's the same scenario. We've got the Darvis box. We've got the 3-day breakout. We've got the 3-day pullback. Everything just runs together. I mean, if this needs to hold the 200. If not, it could come down here to 350 and bounce up off that and come back up to the top up here. So the best scenario on this is to go ahead and try to break the 50. The bear scenario, if it pulls back and hits the 200 and then run it up to the 50. So that's going to be the QQQ. And then the SPX, bullish on all 4 of these trades right now. We had the box, we had the bottom, came up, retested. This is what you call a snake. I talk about this trade a lot. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So we came down and we busted out and created what you call head and shoulders. Then she jumped up, but she just could not break that resistance level from the previous snake that came down. So yeah, would have took the 3-day run and took it up and got out of the trade here maybe. Or you could be scalping it in and out of this channel as it starts to go down. But she did break out. So we got the same scenario going on right here. We have 3-day rule, or at least a couple days it pulled back and then it run back up. So this thing needs to come up to the 200. That's the SPX on the 1-hour time frame to break resistance. If not, that does become resistance and it will pull back to this channel. Now this channel, you take this body of that candle, run it to the body of that one, then take it to the bodies of these 2 right down here at the bottom. That's your channel. So it needs to break that resistance to get it up to there. That'll be your exit idea if it doesn't break. If it decides to double top, here's your resistance level. Where we see, I'm gonna say right in there somewhere, 45.90. But it has to break the 200. If not, she pulls back to either one of these trends right here, and that'll be your bull case to take it back up to here. It'll come very bearish if it does not hold this support line. You could have a pretty good drop on down. So that's the SPX. Love this setup right now. It's a bull flag. It needs to break the 200 and run it on up. So that's the 4 tickers you need to watch first thing in the morning if you want to try to trade this one strategy. There's many to trade. I'll look at these 4 indices, and if I'm looking at these, I'll be looking at others. I'll be looking at Tesla. I'll be looking at Amazon. I'll be looking at Shop. These are my top tickers that I'm watching right now. Shop. I'll be looking at, I'm in PLTR for the first time in a long time. So, you know, keep a good eye on the market. I'm feeling, you know, a little bullish. As long as we don't go back into that lower Darvis box, and then I'll start to get a little bit worried that we had a couple weeks ago. I wish everybody a great day, and see you later, retail traders.